It strikes me that you might wonder why a 6'4", well over 200-pound man would think a small trailer like this is cool. It may not be your style of luxury in camping, but for some, this is really exciting. So today we're going to talk about the ROG 12RK, and it's from Encore RV. Come look at it with me. I realize now in that opening sequence I said, come look at it with me, and then I walked right away from the thing. So I'm back again, and let's talk about this ROG 12RK from Encore RV, because I do like camping this way, and I get it. It is small format, and it may not have an onboard bathroom, but it has so much going for it, including a way to make sure you get your evening or morning shower as well. And it is constructed with zero wood and a welded and bolted aluminum chassis and frame. There's so much going for this, and if you want something that's easy to tow and possibly easy to store, you need to check this out. We'll get to that a little bit later, but first, let's take a look inside. We are now inside the Encore RV 12RK, and that stands for rear kitchen. This is in the ROG series, and you'll notice I am, again, not the smallest human in the room typically, and this is not bad. I have headroom, I have moving around room. I'm 6'4", I'm a little over 200 pounds, and this is a very comfortable space for solo camping or for couples camping, or maybe one of those parent-kid kind of trips, or maybe you and a large dog. Do with it what you will. It is fantastic. I'm very comfortably on this futon folding mattress right now, which when we get to the elements of the front area, you'll see why this sitting position works really well. I do have long legs, but I'm not uncomfortable, and I could stretch out lengthwise and lounge. This bed is something special. They use a good high density foam. It has, to me, a certain sense of firmness, which works for my lower back. And the size, the dimensions of this mattress is 60 inches by 80. That is a true queen size bed. So pretty fantastic. I'm going to go across the ceiling because it's easy things. Maybe we'll call it low-hanging fruit. You have the optional air conditioner in this unit, and I always would option for that since we are in Texas. And we have the smoke detector, and we have a max air fan a little bit further up on the ceiling there, which can bring air in and out. That's fantastic because look at these awning style windows. Between having that air coming in and out and these awning style windows, you can get quite a bit of airflow in whichever direction you want. Coming in from the top and out through the windows, or in through the windows, out through the top, you have your options. I love these kind of windows because they are a no-brainer. They just work like this, and it doubles as an exit, emergency exit or egress window. And you notice how it opens up kind of awning style. So if you don't have a strong wind, but you have some precipitation coming down, then you still have airflow, and the majority of that precipitation won't have a chance at getting in. Of course, with a cross breeze or what have you, you might have a little bit of an issue, but for the most part, you have a good option here. I like that the walls are carpeted because that makes this space really comfortable from a just a comfort standpoint, in the way that if you have really near flat hard surfaces all around, the echo, the reverb can get a little bit much, but not in a trailer built by Encore RV, because they put in this carpeting on the walls and it deadens those reflections, those sound reflections, and it doesn't make you anxious at all. I did forget to mention that the windows have bug screens on them, and if you have to get out, they just pull off. And they also have these projector style blackout shades, so you can make it dark in here. And I'm going to just talk my way through that wall as we go to the front. We have pouches on the side. This switch is for the exterior porch or patio light on this side. There's one on both sides. And then above me, we have little dome lights, and they're on a master switch as well. So you can turn them all on or all off at the same time, or you can manually go one by one, whichever way you want to do it. I'm going to bring this door over a little bit to us, and we'll talk about them a little bit. So good solid latches throughout. It's a solid door, nice window, and it does have a blackout shade at the top. I'll show you how it latches on the outside. So I'm going to reset, and we're going to talk about this front area as well. Now that I'm on the other side toward the front of the trailer, let's look at this area right here. Starting at the bottom, you have your battery disconnect. Now that's really mostly used for when you're in a storage situation and you want to maintain that battery's charge without having a parasitic draw, maybe from some equipment inside the trailer. Maybe it'd be a display just in standby mode and still on. So this is a head unit. It's a JBL system, very nice. And it's right here. You have two speakers here, and moving on up, we have these switches here, these rocker switches. They are pretty unique to the Encore RV trailers because on all four corners on the exterior, you have SAE 12 volt plugs, which means that you can add equipment that takes a 12 volt service using an SAE plug, and you can mount them around or set them out around, and from inside your trailer, deliver power to them at your leisure. It's really cool. We like to see floodlights and all that for the front area of the trailer, or if you have a cooking situation in the back. Let's go across these other buttons. This is the switch for the main cabin lights above me. This is for the cabinet lights, which might be hard to see in the sunlight, and I'll try to get some B-roll of them. I like them because they're LED kind of bullet lights, and they're not in the way, they don't take up any of the storage, and they just work nicely. Very low draw of power as well. Porch side curb light, underglow lights. There is no way you're going to see that in the daylight, but at nighttime, the underglow lights, they're red and they're pretty magical because they allow you to safely navigate around your trailer in the evening time, and it's not that bright white or even leaning on the blue light that draws attention and messes with your nighttime rhythm. So what you have is a safety light, and it's not getting attention from other campers or animals in the area. I like it very much. This next thing looks like a switch, but it is actually USB ports. So you have two USB-A style plugs right there. Right above is a Renogy battery monitor. I like the Renogy products, and that thing will keep you on top of how much energy is coming in, how much energy is currently in your battery, and how much energy is going out from that battery all at the same time, and you'll have an idea of how long you might be able to run as long as you keep your current usage the same. It's a good tool for estimating, but you'll need to be responsible with your use if you want to stay a long time and you don't have a great recharge method. Let's look at this thing. It's obviously there if you want to mount a television, which works if you're sitting on this cool folding mattress. And if you don't want something there, I don't know, put some nice, artwork, build them some shelves, do with it what you want. Maybe a map of all your travels could go right there. 120 plug right there. That will work if you're on shore power, or if you're got a generator system. This trailer that we're in right now does not have an inverter, but that is pretty easy to install if you wanted to go the inversion route. I don't think anyone calls it that, but we'll run with it. This is your coax. Let's say that you're at a campground and you're bringing in park cable. There you go. But if you are away from an RV park, then you might have a satellite dish, and you can set it out and get reception. And this is an amplifier on that signal. Right down here, we have an HDMI plug, and that is if you are running a television here and you want that audio to come through your JBL sound system, then you can bridge the audio using that HDMI plug and maybe get a more full sound. And this is another SAE plug for whatever you might want to charge or power there. Right above the TV area is a nice storage area. It goes back a little bit more than a foot. It follows the curve of the nose cone, but it is a very nice, easy access storage area, and it has aluminum paneling for the front. So again, no wood in the construction of this trailer, whether it be the framing or in the walls whatsoever, not in the floor, not the ceiling. Pretty cool that you're not going to have to worry about you know, whatever the worries are that come with wood in the walls, in the floor, and in the ceiling. Not here on the Encore RV. Let's go right over here and we're going to take a look at the storage at the front of the trailer as well on the driver's side. All right, so this is that storage I talked about. I believe that it's 10 cubic foot, but I'm going to tell you right now, my brain just lets specs fall out. So in the video description below this video, I'm going to put in as many specs and weights and links and details that I can, dimensions and whatnot. So do look in the video description if you want to know actual sizes that I might forget to mention or just forget. This is a very nice latch and it's lockable. So not only does your trailer latch, but you can lock things in here and it's fantastic. It has a good thick, sturdy door. It closes very solidly. Easy and smooth opening. Let me get out of the way here. And for some reason, they thought to put a nice seal on it all the way around. Maybe for moisture, but I think it works fantastic to keep anything from maybe getting a rattle to it if you're running the air conditioner or heater. If it's pressed up against a nice gasket, then you're not going to have any of that sympathetic vibration causing more noise in your cabin. Keeps it quiet. This is a nice device. Now, you know it as a converter, and that's what it is, but it is an auto detect converter from WFCO or WIFCO. And of course it has your standard breakers for 120, and it has your fuses for your 12 volt system. I love it because you put in a regular RV marine battery, maybe an AGM, or you move on up, you switch up to lithium ion, which this trailer already has. It has that option on it. It auto detects and charges that battery appropriately to not only charge it swiftly and efficiently, but also to maintain it for life. You get more uses out of it. Let's look at the storage space. It is, I would venture to say, about 2 feet deep, and you'll notice it has a built-in shelf, and it has lots of storage space for your gear. Right now is holding some accessories that come with this trailer. When we get to the tongue of this trailer, you're going to notice that this trailer is currently equipped with a 2-inch ball, which is great for most travels. Most of my travels, I've never needed anything more. However, because this trailer is capable of slightly more rugged terrain, they want to make sure that you can get there safely and with equipment not getting damaged. So they provide this 360 style hitch. I'll show you how this attaches so you can replace the standard 2-inch ball mount, but the fact that they provided it is incredible. It allows, like I said, 360 style movement. On your tow vehicle side, it rotates left and right to take care of that movement. And on the trailer side, it allows for the up and down and for this twisting. And notice it goes all the way around, therefore the 360. So it's a fantastic option. And the way it works is it'll slide into that cup and then run a very beefy pin through there. So you're not going to come apart whenever you're bouncing and rambling around. Encore RV provides documents on all of the accessories. There is an outdoor spray port and your 30 amp cord and a crank for those stability jacks. We'll get to those in a little bit. Down below, let me close this. Down below, and I didn't demonstrate it well, but on the floor of this, there is a panel that lifts up that gives you access to the furnace, which is ducted. So it keeps it a little bit more quiet, and it also spreads it out evenly as you direct it around. Fantastic option. Now, let me come over this way and show you what's behind this bed area. But actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and lay out the mattress. You can see the space with the mattress in it, and then I'll have a good view of what's along the back wall. Stick with me. Okay, There we go. Now, just to prove to you that it is a rather large mattress, and you can see under my weight, it's compressed and yet not bottoming out. I'm going to lay down on it. I am, again, 6'4". I have my shoes on, so my feet I'm going to put just above there, and I have probably 2 or 3 inches above me, which is typical for me in a standard queen bed. So a lot of space to enjoy and be comfortable and safe and secure on your travels. Now, don't forget your safety equipment, fire extinguisher, another window, and on the back wall, we have the control for the furnace, a little bit of shelving, USB charge port, 120 outlets on both sides, and a reading light, which if you're already asleep and you wake up and you just need to see just well enough and then go back to sleep, you might want just that light blue. It doesn't cast as much light all the way around. And then if you want white, you push it again. Pretty handy. And then you also have this, again, aluminum, so very sturdy, very strong, powder coated shelving with those bullet lights and some bungees, which you could move if you wanted to. And that's pretty much it. I did forget that you have the propane and carbon monoxide detector on that wall in the corner. And I think it's a good time for us to go outside and see what we can find there. Okay, here we go. We're on the outside, so we're going to do a quick run around and let's see what we can see right away on this trailer. Let's start at the front, and we're going to notice a latchable bin here. And it's fairly deep, but it does not go all the way across. It comes to probably about 4 and a piece feet into the space. It is about 4 inches above the opening, and it's nicely finished. There is a light right here, but the little secret here is underneath this area. I'm gonna get the finger pull and pull that out so you can see it better. There's your battery tray, and you may notice this one has the optional 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. I sometimes don't say that right. I may not have said it right that time. But you also saw enough space to add 2 more. For a trailer this size that doesn't have that many power hungry things, that's a lot of expandability. Close that up, really solid. Now, coming along, this is just the antenna for the radio, and this is one of those 4 SAE power ports that I talked about that are switched on the inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to mount something to this wonderful rack, you can do so. Let's see how this holds open. They use a very easy magnet here. Pops open, holds it very well in most breezy conditions. And you may notice how thick that is. That's the thickness of not just the doors, but the sidewall, and they have a very nice seal all the way around. It's a fantastic, solid feeling and insulated door. So I'm going to close that, and you're going to be able to hear the sound of a nice, solid door. As I look at this, you're going to notice they use Asdel in the walls, and here it is, that big sticker emblazoned upon it that says all aluminum frame, 100% wood-free construction. And then this one is also important. 2-year transferable bumper to hitch warranty, 5-year transferable structural warranty from Encore. That is not terribly common in the RV industry, and they stand by it. They feel like they can support this product because it is well made. Looking up, we have the OVS, or Overland Vehicle Systems awning, and I really like these because they are very sturdy. They're made of good materials and they can support themselves. You don't generally have to use the poles to put down to the ground and tether to. So if it's not terribly windy, extend the awning, enjoy your time. If it's going to pick up a little bit, maybe put those legs on and tether it down and really make it tight, and it's nice. This is a really cool rack that it's attached to, that's built in-house, and it can hold 400 pounds. Perfect for rooftop tent, bikes, kayaks, and other things like that. You'll also notice the top of the max fan and the optional air conditioner. So let me just remind you, battery was optional, rack is optional, awning is optional, but you have to have the rack to option in the awning, and the air conditioner's optional. Let's keep on going around the side here. So we have a little external gas port here if you want to add a cooking area, but they do have a kitchen in the back. So let's open this up and see what we can find. While I'm opening this up, you may once again notice this really cool rack, very useful, good solid door, and it happens to be certified Sasquatch proof. All right. And that is a very nice looking outdoor kitchen. Again, we talked about how the doors work. They have good seals all the way around, and this is a very usable space. You have a little knife holders here, maybe you have your spice rack, some storage here, outdoor speakers, a locker here for maybe your dry goods, and it's pretty deep. We're looking at maybe 2 feet, maybe just under. Aluminum, powder coated, and a 12-volt refrigerator. I believe it's 3.3 cubic feet, but do look in the description down below where I will put the actual specs. I think that's the actual specs, but I forget. This is a really nice sink. It's about 6 inches, 7 inches deep, about a foot across, and maybe 10 inches wide. And then the sprayer, super handy. It's up high, great for washing maybe those bowls and pots. Let's look at these switches here. So this is, if you want to check where your water tank is, you hold that switch. It doesn't stay in place because they don't want you to leave it on and it become one of those parasitic draws on your 12-volt system. So you want to check it, you just hold it, and you see where the LED lights light up. This second switch does stay on because it's your water pump, but since we don't have water in it, we don't want to leave that on. GFCI protected 120, and then let's run across this panel here with more rocker switches. This is actually not a rocker switch. It is, once again, 2 USB-A style USB plugs. This is a master power on-off or kill switch for the power to the refrigerator. I love redundancy in off-road gear, especially very easy access redundancy. So you can easily maybe leave this at your preferred setting, and before you start packing up to travel, maybe a few hours before, half a day before, turn that on, start supplying power to your refrigerator, and let it cool off. And you can easily see when you're putting it in storage, anything that's still on pulling power off of your 12-volt system, you can see it because they are lit. Your cabinet light is here, but it's so bright it's going to be hard to see it. It is this cabinet back here that's lit, and your main lights is right here, and again, too bright to see. However, it also has a button switch on it right there. I'll turn that off. 2-burner stove. There you go. And it is, well, it has a little blue light on it. We have a bottle opener and a little bit of storage in this bottom area. Again, aluminum powder coated, nice and deep, and there's not too much in the way there. I do see another outlet at the back. I suppose for whatever you want to use it for. Maybe you want to put even another small 12-volt fridge in there or something along those lines. Even more storage. So if I were packing this thing out, I think if my son and I, or my daughter and I, or my wife and I managed to get away without the kids, I think that we could manage to pack enough food here to do easily, between the refrigerator and the storage in this area that I see and up here, I think that we would have enough food to do easily 2 weeks, maybe longer. And I say that because I have in mind how much water stays on board this system. We talked about where the water pump is. We talked about the construction that allows you to go way out there in some rough terrain. But if you want to stay out there in the rough terrain, food is one thing, water is quite another, and this has a massive amount of carrying capacity for fresh water, considering the size trailer it is. Come around the side and let me show you what the sticker says. 43 gallons of onboard water that you can fill up right here behind this lockable door, or you can supply just water from your house via a hose, but that will bypass that 43-gallon tank, and it will also bypass the need for using the pump. Looking down here, I see a hot water input and cold water output. We're coming around, I see again, this thing is sturdy, thick, heavy, robust, and those wheels are no joke as well. Aluminum rims, and they are 15-inch rims with off-road tires. You will notice when we get further along that the spare tire is the same tire on the same rim, so no shenanigans there. It will look right and tow exactly the same should you need to swap them out. Beautiful look at the rack above, that wonderful solid door. I love that there are doors on both sides. Now, this doesn't have, as it sits, a screen to cover both doors, but that is one of those things that you can find pretty easy. A lot of the people in the owners group on Facebook who have Encore RV have found a screen solution or made a screen solution that allows you to have not just the windows open with screens, but also the doors. So your options are many. 12-volt power port again, and that magnetic hold open. This is your 30 amp cord plug in. This particular cord and power box don't come with the trailers, what we're using for this demonstration. The back side of your furnace, and this is the coaxial input for your park cable or your external satellite dish that you travel with. Right here, you'll notice one of the 4 stabilizer jacks. It has stabilizer jacks on 4 corners, which isn't really necessary typically in a trailer of this size, but having all 4 is fantastic. You do not want to level this trailer using those jacks. Make sure you use this tongue jack here to level front to back, and use something to drive on the low side wheel to bring that low side wheel up to level your trailer side to side. Once you're level to your satisfaction, then you will make sure that you're all chalked up and you put those stabilizers down. Let's talk about, once again, that spare tire. This rack here, made in-house, super solid, your standard 5-gallon or 20-pound propane tank. And I'm going to talk about this connection point. This coupling point for towing, you'll notice it is that 2-inch ball that is so common and covers most needs. However, if your terrain is going to have a lot of off-road bumps, dips, ruts maybe, and your tow vehicle needs to move very independently from a swivel and tilt standpoint of your trailer, and yet still stay connected. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in this, but if you need that kind of articulation, this coupler is a bolt-on, very solid. You unbolt it, put that 360 style coupler on there, and you have all that articulation and the assurance of how well it's connected. Standard chains, a swivel up bogey wheel, and I love these because once it's swiveled up, it's not hanging down hardly at all, and it's faster as well. Once you are on the tow ball and latched in place, then all you have to do is to raise this enough to get away from contact with the ground, and then you can just swivel it up and it's not just cranking for days, right? Here we go. Let's go around and wrap up this look at the Encore RV 12 RK. And that brings us around to this beautiful presentation side of the trailer. Once again, the Encore ROG 12 RK is a smaller form factor trailer. It does not have onboard shower on the inside, though you have that ready on demand hot and cold. You can attach a shower room off the side. It may not have an onboard toilet, so I get it. Not everyone is looking for that type of exploration and adventure, but I will say there are quite a few of you out there that are perfectly fine with that. You want something nimble, you can really get off the beaten path, see some things, and maybe just get away from it all and reset. A trailer like this is perfect for the solo camper or the couple or the parent and kid situation where you can go and make memories, reset, refresh, and be really safe, secure, and quite comfortable. I love the water capacity. I love the ruggedness. I love the kitchen off the back, and so many ways to bring whatever gear you want to. Encore RV did a great job with the ROG series. This is the 12 RK, and it's been a pleasure showing it to you today. We'll see you next time.